Hello good people of Nelson, my name is Graham O'Brien, and over the next couple of months leading up to our local body elections in October, I will be interviewing new candidates so that you have some information about who is running for a council position and giving you some facts to think about. Only 52% of people vote in Nelson, yet we are the top city in New Zealand. One of my main goals is to see that figure increase so that we can continue to be the most democratic city in New Zealand. Recently I posed this question on social media. Do you vote, and if not, why not? The majority of replies said there was too little information available on candidates and little to no chance to meet and question them at times that are convenient for a working person. To change this sad state of affairs, I have started the Candidates Market. This has been held at the political end of the Saturday market. So now you can stock up with all your favourite local produce and goods, and at your convenience, listen, talk and question any candidates who are brave enough to face the ratepayers. So come on down to the Saturday market for all your local goods and the Candidates Market for all your democratic needs. Stuart Walker, you're running as a candidate in the upcoming local elections. Can you please tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hello Graham. I'm an electrician by trade. I come from a practical background. My dad was a 3-term councillor. I think a bit of that's rubbed off on me. I've been attending most of the council meetings for the last 2 or 3 years, and I've been left with the impression that there's probably a better way that we can run the town.
Sure. And can you please tell us, why should people vote for you?
Well, at the moment there is mainly a academic background with council, and I think that there is room for a practical aspect to come on a lot of the conversations that are had in the chamber, and I'd like to think that I can improve that situation.
Thanks for that, Stuart. We have a few questions now that we got from people on the street down at the Candidates Market, at the Saturday Market, and we've got questions from Jim, Joanna, Peter and Joe.
I'd like to know what you're going to do about the homeless in Nelson. It's the middle of winter, there's snow on the mountains, we've got people living in tents, in containers, in garages, and the council have got a perfectly good motor camp.
What are your concerns and your ideas for homeless people in Nelson and emergency housing? Have you got some ideas around something we can do quite urgently? And also my concern is I live at the Brook, and if I'm going up to the sanctuary, I so often see the motor camp and all those units up at the camp are not being used at all, and I think what a waste.
Yes, Jim and Joanna, quite a sound question. It does concern me that we have people that are looking for houses and living in cars and the like, and yet we do have up the Brook there some cabins that, as an alternative to what they're faced with at the moment, this would be a luxury accommodation to them. I do know that they have been vacant for some time, but we really need to talk with people who are keen to provide this accommodation, emergency accommodation. I know there's been issues down at the Tahuna camp in the past, but surely if there's a will, there's a way to help these folk.
Just a question for the new candidate. Would they consider putting a new overpass or underpass at Hampden Street School to keep the children safe and to make the traffic flow a lot easier?
Yeah, thanks Peter. This is a very sound idea. I'm surprised that it hasn't been followed up in the past. Some time ago I saw a drawing which was a circular overpass at the intersection. To me that made real sense. It enabled people to cross both roads to get to the other corner. So if they had a need to cross both, they could get up onto the walkway well above the traffic, walk across the main road and then across the likes of Hampden Street to get to Nelson College. These sorts of things certainly need to be looked into, because that is one of the bottlenecks that we're faced with.
One interesting concept that I'd like to pose, which I think could be critical for the benefit of everybody in town, except maybe a small group of people, 1/10 of 1%, shall we say, is that of rent control. So I think that businesses struggle in Nelson when they could be doing really well, because just to pay for premises to run your business costs an exorbitant amount of money.
Hello Joe, this is an awkward one. I'm not sure that it in fact is something that the council can be involved in. I think that it's between the landlord and the tenant. And if the rents are too high, obviously the landlord has an issue as to whether he can rent his premises. If it's too low, of course, the landlord can't meet his costs. So it's an awkward one, and I'm not sure, that, as I say, that the council can be involved in that.
There were good questions from the public, weren't they, Stuart?
Yeah, no, I think it's good to know that there are people out there with very serious concerns about the issues that are out there, and this is what it's all about, that we need to know what those are.
And how about some of the issues or points that you would like to bring up personally?
Well, I think that there's a lot of a lack of consultation over a number of issues that are out there. The Stoke Community Centre is one that I feel that the communication over that wasn't handled perhaps as best as it could have been. I'm yet to be convinced that what we're going to end up with is in fact the best outcome for everybody. And I think that had more communication and consultation occurred, that would have helped there. And I think that this is part of the problem that we face, that it's great to have these concepts, but you need to talk to the people that are actually involved, and then you get the best outcome.
Great, Stuart. Thanks very much for coming along and let people know what's going on.
Yeah. Thanks, Graham.
Cheers.
I invite you to join Gary Watson on Mainland Television to discuss the issues.
Over the coming weeks, Graham O'Brien and I will be bringing you Mainland TV Issues special programs where we talk to new local body candidates so you can find out more about those standing for council in Nelson and Tasman. We'll ask them about their vision for our regions, what's important, and how they'll manage their role on council if successful. I hope you can join us for this Issues special 5:30 p.m, 6:30 p.m, 7:30 p.m and 11 p.m, plus other times on Mainland Television, radio and online.
World War I was a defining period in our history, impacting greatly on the lives of people from the Nelson province. Memories of the First World War is an exhibition which will be displayed in a number of regional venues and is currently on at the Nelson Provincial Museum.
Are you looking for a scooter, walker, wheelchair, baby seats or pushchairs? Then come in and see the Nelson Region Specialist at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library. We have a huge selection of scooters, walkers, wheelchairs and accessories, along with a free booklet guide. We also provide a breakdown service if you ever get a puncture or a flat battery. We have fully equipped service vans to rescue you. Hi, I'm Robin Jordan and I invite you to call in and see the friendly team at Mobility for You, 269 Queen Street, Richmond, opposite the library.
Hi everyone, I'm Gary Watson and I'm standing for the Tasman District Council's Mutri Waimea Award for Council. The TDC has some big challenges ahead and I believe it's important the council have successful people with business skills and experience that know how to manage money, your hard-earned money, wisely. I want to see a considerable reduction in unnecessary red tape that is adding huge costs to all ratepayers, new home owners, businesses and farmers. Rate increases must be kept below inflation and more fairness introduced on a number of issues across our region. My wife Christine and I operate a number of companies including Mainland TV, radio and online, and we've lived in the Motueka Valley for over 36 years. We love the people, we love the climate, we love the environment, and I am passionate to make Tasman better the way you want it.
Hi there, Julian Toon, Waimea Telecommunications. We install and maintain domestic and commercial satellite TV, UHF Freeview and Mainland TV installations in the Nelson, Tasman regions. We specialise in Panasonic telephone systems and provide communications, Wi-Fi, IT and wiring for internet, fibre, computers and DSL systems. At Waimea Telecommunications, we also provide specialist electronic systems for features such as a security camera you can watch on your TV, visitor alert systems and much more. Improve your security and communication and entertainment today. Call us on Waimea Telecommunications on 021 472297, ytel.co.nz.
Hi, Dave here from Nelson Beds.
And Jesse.
We'd like to invite you all into our showroom here in Quarantine Road, have a look at what we produce. We do a wide range of beds, bedroom furniture, adjustable beds, both home care style, whereby you may have people that are in a disabled position, or just adjustable beds for your own comfort. We do rustic furniture and bed frames, mattresses.
So with our ranges of bases, you don't just have to go with the standard option, you can go to rollaway drawers. So like this one here, you've got a nice big drawer that's not part of the base, it's separate, so it can take plenty of weight. You can put plenty in there, and it just nicely snugs underneath the base. And another option of drawers, instead of being separate rollaways, we also have the roller runner drawers. So these are smaller because they can't take quite as much weight as what the big rollaways can, but just a bit neater, better for clothing, and again, just neatly sit in place.
So come on down and see us at Nelson Beds at 59 Quarantine Road on the way to the airport.
I'm Kip Mailing and I'm standing for Mayor of Tasman. First of all, I'd just like to give you a bit of my background. I spent 24 years in the police and 12 years orcharding, and I returned to Tasman to live some 18 years ago because I had an elderly father that we wanted to be close to. I'm standing for Mayor because I want to make a difference to our district. I'm concerned about what is happening with our current council. They're not focused on core services. They've also increased staff hugely over the last 9 years. What's happened in Mapua with an overspend of $500,000 and $1.8 million on a commercial building is not core services and should not have been done. There are plenty of developers in Nelson and Tasman that would have built that building and not involved ratepayers' money. It's an indictment on this council that we can't fix stormwater in Motueka and flooding issues in Murchison, and we're spending $1.8 million on a commercial building. That should not happen. So I want to see a council that is focused on core services. Rates affordability is another issue, and the increase in staffing has caused part of this problem. Rates should not go up above inflation, and in the last 9 years they've gone up above inflation every year. This year they went up 1%, inflation is running at 0.4. The next subject I want to discuss is our environment. I'm a keen trout fisherman and I also go sea fishing. We need jobs and we need to improve our environment as well, and that means protecting our waterways and ensuring that we're not damaging our environment with our development. I also support the Lee Valley Dam. I have been involved in irrigation for a number of years, and if we don't build this dam soon, we will lose funding from government. They are looking at putting in a considerable sum of money to help irrigators fund this project, and it will also provide water for Richmond. Without the dam, we have 1,000 jobs at risk on the Waimea Plains. That will affect our economy hugely and our district. And the last subject I'd like to really talk with you this morning is the Southern Link. It is increasingly difficult to get in and out of Nelson from Tasman. When I came to Nelson as a 10-year-old 50 years ago, there was talk of the Southern Link then. Our population has increased hugely, and it can now take an hour to get from Nelson City to the other side of Richmond. We need to improve the flow of and volume of traffic from our key infrastructure areas, the port. The one way to do that is with the Southern Link. So I won't have met all you people. We have a difficult district to get around, but I've spent time in Murchison in the last few days. I've also been at Lake Rotoiti, I go to Motueka, I've been to Golden Bay, and over the next few weeks I'll be visiting every district and every township that I can, and I would seek your support to bring the Tasman district back into focus on core services, affordability of rates, improving our environment, and the Southern Link. Thank you for listening to me.